Okay. All right. So how do you name HCl? It's an acid with no oxygen. I need some help here. Who's gonna give me some help on this one? No, you know. All right. So if you don't have any oxygen, you will start with hydro, and you will end with ic. And then the middle part is just the non-metal, isn't it? Hydrochloric acid. So now we can name all these. What's HBr? Hydrobromic acid. What's HI? Hydroiodic. H2S. Hydrosulfuric. HF. Hydrofluoric. What do you think? Well, that was really easy. I just have to remember how to name that, don't I? Now go over here. What about the acids that do contain oxygen? And you know why they contain oxygen? They're in a polyatomic ion that has oxygen in it. So that's what I want to concentrate on. Here's an acid. See, it starts with H. And it has what polyatomic ion in it? What's that called? Can you close the door for me, please? What is the name? And you have to know your polyatomic ions. I don't care if you know, maybe you learn 8 of them today or 10 of them tomorrow. I don't know, but you have to know these, okay? What's the name of this guy?
Nitrate.
Now, if the polyatomic ion ends in 8, nitrate, then he just becomes a plain old simple ic acid, nitric. But what's the name of NO2, the polyatomic ion called NO2? Nitrite. If it ends in ite, then it becomes the us. Now you can actually piggyback on the other memory trick we had. Remember how iron was +2 and +3 and the big icky monster was +3? Which one of these has more oxygen in it? The big icky, see this guy? So he's going to the icky acid. So nitric, nitrous. What we did also was, remember how we did we took all of the chlorate series? I don't know if I can find that paper or not. Maybe. Yeah. Here you go. Okay. So, do you see this right here? This is the chlorate series, and this is a famous 8, isn't it? Chlorate. And if you take away an oxygen, you get chlorite. Take away another oxygen, hypochlorite. It's even less oxygen than chlorite. And per means add an oxygen to chlorate. Perchlorate, see that? Now, how many hydrogens would I have to add to these to make an acid? -1, +1. That'll do. That's all I need, right? 1. So if I want to make all these polyatomic ions into real compounds called acids, I just did it. What's the name? What are you going to name this acid? HClO3. You have oxygen. What's the name of the polyatomic ion? Chlorate. What's the acid going to be? Chloric. Okay, I got that one down. You end in ite. What's the name of this acid? Chlorus. Acid. What do you end in? Ite. Oh, if you end in ite, I have to call you what? Hypochlorous acid. And what about you down here? You end in what? What are you going to call this acid? Perchloric. Wow, what do you think about that? I don't see how, if you could do the whole chlorate series and name them, I don't see how you're going to be fooled by any other acids. These are acids with oxygen, right? Okay. Now, that's enough. That is type 4. Now, type 5, I taught it in 3 minutes or less. And the only thing that makes me nervous about this is that if all compounds were named like this, everybody in the world would be a chemist. But you don't, right? When is the only time you will use these? When's the only time you'll look at the subscripts and the only time you use all these to name it? What's this a special case? What is type 5? It's not ionic, so it's not metal, non-metal. It's what? Non-metal, non-metal. That's called covalent bonding, or it's molecular, okay? Do you know why I use the word molecule so much in biology class? Because the four main elements in living things are C, H, O, and N. Non-metal, 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 non-metal. What kind of compounds do they form? Covalent compounds called molecules. Water molecule, carbon dioxide molecule, sugar molecule, DNA molecule. You ever notice that? But that's because they're non-metal, non-metal. So if you see a non-metal, non-metal, and it's binary, all right, this is called type 5. And what do you need to know is mono means 1, di is 2, tri is 3. What's 4? Tetra. 5? Pentagon. All right, 5. 6. Hex looks like 6, doesn't it? Hex. Hepta is 7, octa 8. Anybody know what 10 is? Deca. Anybody know 9? Nona. Okay. So now, what we do here is you don't use mono for the first element, but you do for the second. So watch this. What is this called, this compound? Carbon. I know there's only one carbon, but you don't use mono for the first, right? Carbon. How many oxygens? Carbon, not monoxide, but carbon monoxide, right? What about this guy? Carbon dioxide. This one. Sulfur trioxide. What about that? I just made that up. What do you think? Diphosphorus. Tetra. And it ends, why is it in IDE? All binary compounds in an IDE. See that? I'm not worried about this one. The only thing that worries me is that you will do something like this. Dialuminum trioxide. No, you don't use this system for anything except what? And this is a metal and a non-metal. You do not. I already taught you how you do this, didn't I? This is aluminum oxide, right? I don't even look at the subscripts that name that. But here I do. Subscripts are everything, aren't they? Here's something I always ask on a test. I don't know why. I always give it away, and people still miss it. I'll give it away. What's the name of that? What's the name of that? Let's take a chance. Who wants to try? Caroline, what do you think? What's the name of that? What? Sulfur? Is it? What's SO3? No? What's SO3? Raise your hand if you know. Yes? That's right. It's a compound, isn't it? It's a compound. And how do you know it's a compound? There's no charge. All compounds have no charge. This is not a compound. What's this? Sulfite. It's a polyatomic ion, isn't it? Because polyatomic ions have charges, don't they? Compounds have no charge. See the difference? Some of you want to do your flashcards and you want to do this. You want to do that. And no. That's not a polyatomic ion, is it? That'd be sulfur tetroxide. But what is this called? What do you think, Caroline? What's SO4 minus 2 charge? Have you learned any of these yet? What is it? I'll give you a hint. It has sulfur in it. Sulfate. Yes. See that? Everybody got that? That's it. Now, I have 2 exceptions. I have 2 exceptions for you, and then that's it. And so this won't take me very long. You never really want to teach the exceptions until you feel like everybody has a grasp. I think you do have a grasp now of how to do this chapter, but I want to show you about some exceptions. I didn't do it. But here are some exceptions, and you know what? If they're exceptions, don't expect the whole test to be exceptions. You get that? Out of 50 questions, maybe 1 or 2. So here you go. Exception number 1 is called O2 minus 2. Now, what I would do, you don't have to, but you could make another flashcard, because O2 minus 2 is like a polyatomic ion. Now, I can tell you right now that in a compound, oxygen is going to be minus 2 almost always. Almost always. This is the only time that oxygen is not minus 2. Now, what are you talking about? That says minus 2. No, 2 oxygens together are minus 2. So what is each oxygen? Oh, I put this in the wrong place. Sorry. Now, I could put it here, I guess. Let me do it. Let's do it. Yeah, let's do that. So what is the name of this? What is O2 minus 2 polyatomic ion? And you ever heard of this? Anybody know what this is called? What's it called? Peroxide. Now, again, don't look at me and said, I thought I was getting to understand this, and now all of a sudden, oh, this is something new, and I bet the whole test is, no. Here's an exception. First of all, there aren't that many peroxides out there, but there is one time where oxygen is not minus 2. It's when it's this. So let's say I want to do potassium. Okay, well, this will help you, right? Let's say I want to write potassium oxide. How would I do that? Forget about the exception, okay? How do we do potassium oxide? Potassium plus 1, okay. And what about oxygen? Minus 2. I need 2. Isn't that how you would have done it? Okay, that's the way you still do it. You still do it that way. Now, what if I say potassium peroxide? Oh, I can't do that. Yes, you can. What is the polyatomic ion peroxide? O2 minus 2. Well, then write it down. Write down O2 minus 2. Okay. Now, what do you want to add to it? Potassium. What are you going to do about it? You got something that's plus 1. You got something that's minus 2. What are you going to do about it? I need 2 of these. Oh, look at that. Potassium oxide, potassium peroxide. Okay, another one. Another exception. If I said mercury 2, I get tired using oxide. What if I say mercury 2 sulfide? How would you do that? Oh, mercury? You said mercury? Which mercury is it? Plus 2? Yeah, mercury. Oh, got that. And sulfur? Yeah. Sulfur. I'm done. Yeah, I'm done. See? You're not right? Are you done? What do you think? Pretty easy? Mercury 2 is not an exception. Mercury 2 is like iron 2, cobalt 2. Just do it like regular. I didn't do this. Mercury 1. Okay, guess what? What's mercury 1? God, for whatever reason, I can't even figure it out. He said, if you want mercury to have a plus 1 charge, you better have 2 of them together. No, I don't want them to get, too bad. The only way you're going to have mercury 1 is if I put 2 of them together, and together they're going to be plus 2. And that means each one is plus 1. Huh, that's weird, isn't it? That's weird. So let's do mercury 1 sulfide. And some of you are going to catch on. You say, wait, this is like any other polyatomic ion. That's right. You say mercury 1, what am I going to write down? Okay, here, look up here. You say mercury 1, I'm going to write Hc2 plus 2, just like I do any other polyatomic ion. You get it? Just write Hc plus 2 plus 2. What do you want to add to it? Sulfur. Well, sulfur is minus 2. Well, then you're done. Here's mercury 2 sulfide. Here's mercury 1. Because two mercuries together were plus 2. What's each mercury? it's only +1. I'm done with that. Those are exceptions. Out of 50 or 60 questions, you might see it twice. You might see it twice. You get that? That's all. And you have till Thursday if you can get them. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you some games, okay? And you guys can choose which game you want to start. The first game I have, a lot of times, I don't think you're quite ready to play this game yet, but it should help you. But here's what we're going to do. You're going to get a 4 people at a table, so we can get 4 people at that table or whatever. And so let's say you have 4 people at a table, and you have a person here and here and here and here, like that. And then what you do is have a whiteboard. So you put a whiteboard on the table. And the first thing you want to do when you get that whiteboard ready is you write +1, -1, -2, -3. Okay, can everybody see what I'm doing? All right. Now what you do is, of the 4 people, one person, just one person is the judge. And one person has this out. They have the answer sheet out. Okay. Now you can decide who goes first, second, and third. And here's the way you do it. Everybody has a different colored whiteboard pen. You said, all right, Max, you start. And Max says, I want to win this game. I'm going to put one there that's really easy. So here's what Max does. There's +1, -1, -2, -3. Max does NH4 +1, and he says, ammonium. The judge says, correct. Now it's the next person's turn. The next person says, hydroxide. Correct. The next person's turn. So you got 3 people fighting for each other, okay? The next person does this. Sulfate. Judge says no. That person's out of the game. Now the next 2 people keep seeing to find out who can win. Now this game won't last very long at the beginning because some of you don't know these. But then what you do is, when the game's over and somebody wins this game here, you tell everybody get this out and say, now you have 2 minutes to study these again. Now whoever was the judge can't be the judge 2 times in a row. You get that? So now somebody else is the judge. You play the game again. And you'll notice that the ones that were done on game number 1, they'll show up again, won't they? And guess what? The list will get bigger, and the list will get bigger. And so if you play this game, it will force you to learn more and more of the polyatomic ions. Are you with me on that? This is a harder game, but you have to make sure in between time that you look at this and said, I'm ready for the next game. I'm not going to lose the next game. And then the judge has to make a determination. Again, if they don't write the right charge, they don't put in the right column, they don't say the right name, then you say no. You can be a little harsh. It's okay. The next game I'm going to show you, and we're going to demonstrate it. And this is probably the wildest game. That's the loudest game. And I don't know why. There are some people that get into this game, and if I told you that people would be yelling about learning their polyatomic ions, you'd say, that's not possible. All right? It would have to be a nerd camp or something like that. No, it's just called school. It's just called school. So we're going to come back here, and I'd like to have 4 volunteers. You're one, thanks for volunteering, and you're volunteering, and you're going to volunteer, and you're going to volunteer. So everybody else has to stand up back here, and the 4 people I picked, I want you to sit down at the table right here. 4 people that volunteered, you're going to sit at the stools, and I'm going to sit over here. All right, this guy's sitting on the stool. Now, everybody has to come over here so you can see, right? All right, now here's how we play this game. Move that way just a little bit. All right. Now, the 5th person will be have these cards. See these cards? Before you start the game, pull up. So here's how it works. There are two ways to play this game. On Wednesday, for sure, we're gonna play cutthroat. But today we'll play soft. We'll play a soft game. In a soft game, if I put this up here and Davis says the wrong answer, and I don't give him the card, he can guess and guess and guess until he gets the right answer, okay? Now that makes it hard on you because you gotta listen carefully what they say. Are you ready? All right, first person to give me the name of this. All right, everybody see the name? All right, ready? Ready?
Hydrogen sulfate. Sulfide. Hydroxide.
If I can't tell who did it first, I put it back in.
Hypophosphate. It's a hydrogen sulfate.
Come on,
That was oxalate, oxalate. Here we go.
Perchlorate. Fluoride. Chlorate. Carbonate. Nitrite.
It's nitrate. Now, so you can play the game nice, and they can have as many guesses as they want. You have to listen carefully, okay? Or on Wednesday, the way I like to play this game is you get one guess. And if they say nitrate and it's wrong, they don't get another guess. And then that leaves whoever's left has more time to think about it. Get that? All right, now so when I get the cards back, I'm gonna put it back in order, and there we go. Okay, everybody see how that game works? Now I have this set to stay at this table, and I'm gonna put a whiteboard here and a whiteboard here, and I want two groups of whiteboard players, and then the next group is, if you're gonna do this game, you take a set of cards like here, and all you have to do is put them in order, not in order, just so it's the same face up and down. So, if you wanna play a whiteboard game, stay right here or right here. If you wanna go over there or there and play this next game, take a stack, take a stack with you. Now, if you're playing that game over there, here's another stack. Anybody wanna go over there? Okay, since you don't have anybody with you, wait a minute. Here's what we do. You wanna just go ahead, you wanna, okay, wait a minute. I need, alright. Okay, you guys, I'll play the whiteboard game. Hey, don't let them see ahead of time what you're showing, just so you keep it, you're good this distance, wait. I know you guys are fixing. All right. Guys, Brad, what's your best name? Everybody look.
I'm all in, baby.
Name, all in. I shuffle them up.
Here, I know how to shuffle good. You're living garbage.
Is it really this hard?
How are you this bad at shuffling?
Everybody understand how to keep these down low? Nobody can see them till the end. Okay. All right, what are you gonna do? I'm gonna show you how to play
So bad at these.
Do not argue with the host.
Guys, so, or.
No, that's the holiday time.
Sulfate. Sulfite. Kryptonite.
Iron sulfate.
That's a hard one, that's a hard one. One. Alright, I said, here's your problem is, they can already see what the next part is, unless you pull it off. Everybody look at me, look at me. They're gonna see this part, right? Yeah. If you go like this, and the next Come on, right, I'm giving you a break. Because, after I was, after this game got quickly, we're gonna look at, I need you guys to help us. Alright, anyone you want.
No, you said it's really good.
Alright, so what is, right, any of them, any of them.
Toss white.
And I understand that being fun, I know it helps a little bit.
That's right, that's right. It's right.
We're the famous age that told me we're the famous age that we're gonna I know, okay.
He's not even good.
Next, I mean, kind of.
No, I know. Stop trying to change the rules.
That's what I was trying to teach you, like, you're not. Now, what's the matter? We're in the game. It's very short, okay? And what we said, again, he said, I remember one that, we're on the game the first time, and you'll remember some more. On the games, like, the fourth time, you'll see how it gets a little more competitive. What do you think? You might actually beat him, because I think he knows some of them. Alright, so, you can start. Now, not only will I remember that, you did that, the next game I'll get somebody else to bonus, okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Anyone you want. Anyone you feel pretty sure about.
Oh.
All in.
Hi, are y'all?
Yes. My turn. Now, what I'm gonna do, okay, since she did that, I'm gonna in her mind. No, I didn't. Right. So I'm gonna, you're right. That's the strategy. Now, you get the strategy. Use what you just.
Okay, if you get party in the middle and then we're like, no.
Yes.
Number 9, oscillate.
We did, Nate.
Chloride.
Silicon.
So baby.
Okay, now since that's your first mistake, I'll let you do it again.
It's not hydrophosphate.
Hydrogen phosphate, yeah, see, you put a plus one on it, so now you're minus two. Now, I don't like how you do it. Acetate. Dihydrogen phosphate.
Well, I had to do it the opposite way.
See what he does there.
And where was I?
Permanganate.
Okay, we'll start the game again, so if he makes a mistake. Alright, what do you think? You got one? Paper down, paper side out. Before we start, you bring these up again. Now, look here, you said, well, it's I used in the game. Probably show up again.
Phosphate.
Now, you gotta go through.
Dihydrogen phosphate.
No.
Yeah, we can do it now. What's the next one?
Now you start looking for things. You start looking for little patterns.
Starting over. Starting Dihydrogen phosphate.
Hydrogen phosphate.
Oxalate.
Hydrogen carbonate.
Oxalate. Hydrogen sulfate.
See how you know that now, don't you?
Nitrate. That was nitrite. Hydrogen carbonate. Carbonate. Hypochlorite. Hypochlorite.
I'm sorry, my
Oh, here. Hydrogen phosphate. Hydrogen carbonate.
Very good.
Hydrogen.
Subscript.
You took a little bit of a chance there on that one.
Right.
Now, I'm gonna close this series out because that was all right. That's what happens when you're doing that all these. It's like you can do more than you play a game. That was a good strategy, Dad.
We should do one day versus all of us. Yeah, I'll take it.
I knew a few more.
Picking up kitty card. Turn it around, Jonathan.
We do it one more time.
She's like, Columbus had 9-year-old kids.
No, we did get started on this game. And you probably learned this.
Where's your?
I know. Something of having that was a winner. I mean, almost nobody remembers that one. So, let's save that for winning games. Again, we already know you don't have to write that. Both teams started with that, both
Okay,
teams
I
are
did
good.
not put a car on it. I had it recently.
Why did I make?
I know. Yeah, you'll, oh, Danielle in her house.
It doesn't matter. The whole thing will have stories.
Because I don't want you to get upset. I thought homework, I get them tired. Remaining four, Moni on. There you go. I can almost guess what he's gonna say. Think about it.
He said the vote. It's like Carolina, Elizabeth, lines going on. Carolina got Street. So fake. So no ice.
Had an option for it.
Nice lights.
Not blocked.
Girls the girls.
He had that last time he was good.
Show them up. Okay.
I gotta know that.
And he's had
No, I don't. Okay, let it get you. Go sit. You snake. Sorry. No, I didn't go. I'm paying attention. No, you go for me. You little snake. Come on, snake. You were getting it all the way up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do I care?
You're so ready to go.
Use what you had now. Phosphate.
Hydrogen sulfide.
Last day, if someone's not.
Hydrogen carbonate. Hydrogen carbonate. Carbonate. Hydrogen diphosphate and phosphate.
No, you tie it to it, you wear it on you.
Yes, I'm an overachiever. Always an overachiever, right? Actually, I didn't know. Some of you have not lied. I don't know if I'm lying.
Yeah.
Have you seen the shooting? I watched the video of like a bunch, it was like, first one to get, last one to get knocked down.
You're big, cocky with yours, I'm gonna try to.
Am I carbonate? No, I definitely. Fluoride.
And it was on concrete.
You haven't do it all.
I drank one, I already.
Yeah, one concrete.
Dog cages that you put outside, that's just like bins. Like just like, it's like a cage thing.
Last time, helped you remember.
I was outside last
Oh.
night.
Yeah, I knew I was gonna put that next, but he blocked me, so now I gotta make my mind go somewhere else. Now what I'll do is, introduce one you have there. Carbonate.
Bing Crosby.
Bing Crosby?
Bill Cosby? It's
Bing Crosby did not sing.
Where's the big icky? Wait, someone.
Yeah, I might have shown you, I made a picture of you.
Well, that would be the easy one.
I came there with Christmas, I came. Who's playing?
Oh, we had a big game going.
Yeah, but we just finished.
I wasn't paying attention.
I destroyed everyone.
What? Acetate.
Stick out your hand. I don't know if this is. I don't know how to do it.
Me, that was Elizabeth Jones. That was Elizabeth Jones. Elizabeth Jones. Yeah, we're playing games. Whoa. Hydrogen phosphate. Hypochlorite.
You gotta have like those
Phosphate.
You're always Max.
Ammonium. Oh my god, I was about to say nitrate. Chlorine.
He's gonna get drunk.
Make, we're making it. Mercury one. That was like, you said two. Hydrogen sulfide.
Hey, Shirley just does this.
Hydrogen carbonate.
Oh, you're on your own floor.
Well, that was dihydrogen phosphate.
Logan has no chance.
Okay, I'll
See
bet.
it.
Someone like.
Oh, you didn't have to.
Yeah.
No,
I want to see my record. Yeah, exactly. First thing.
Hypochlorite. Chloride.
Honestly,
that would be the biggest ego.
Honestly, that would be a good.
Okay,
Alright, if I can have your attention, here, listen up. I will see you on Tuesdays, remember that? Here's what I'd like you to do. You should be able to work on your, homework. You should be able to work on your homework, and you should be able to get all that done. Now, whatever you have to do to learn your polyatomic ions, you have to do it. Okay, and we come back, even though a lot of you are playing this game, I might let you play this game for 10 more minutes, but you have to get into the whiteboard game. Really play that, it really helps you even more than this game. Yes?
Is the homework due Thursday?
Yes. The homework's not due till Thursday. Alright? Alright, if your cards are in order, just leave them at the desk, and then, thank you very much.
You do the person. Maybe it's no, maybe it's
Alright, thank you.
I'm gonna find someone that does that and I'm gonna show.
The front, which is 3 nouns and then false.
Wait, you had Latin? You had worksheet, and it had, the sentences were English to Latin.
They weren't that hard.
One good class, two were hard, the other one, well, I need to do that. Cause it was like 2 different phrases,
Oh, yeah, I struggled where to put the words.
yeah, I didn't know where to, I just put something.
Something that sounds like.
Yeah. No, I need girls to do that. Okay, so did you take all of them? Did y'all ever record?
If you want to.
I still do that.
Mr. Foodie, would you mind if I took the, like, part of the time?